This is Don right here. He loves grilling, he loves pizza, and he's a great host. But his yard was missing something, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And then we realized, oh, it's missing a fully custom vertical concrete outdoor kitchen with every feature you can possibly think of. So naturally, we started planning. We figured that enclosing the corner of the patio would complete the space. The focal point is the grill in the center, sitting on top of a pre-built unit that we ordered in. This section will have a stark white countertop for food prep around the grill. There's a YETI cooler tub that will be embedded where we want the bar stools for easy access to drinks, and also there will be a cutout for a solar powered charging station right on the back side of this section. The sink goes to the other side for easy access away from where the guests will be congregated. And then we figured we'd throw a pizza oven on the extra counter space, because why not? Then shade the whole area with some umbrellas. Alright, now let's get into how we actually built this outdoor kitchen. We start by cutting the main base for the left side of the countertop. And don't throw away your scraps, they always come in handy.
So I'm going to drop this, okay, yeah. This gets dropped. And then what I'm going to do, because you want it up, I'm just trying to create a flake that looks natural.
I got it.
And I don't want a straight cut.
Now I'm going to just start to chew this out. Just designing it, I'm just looking at it the way that I want it to. It's an inverted surface, so I'll have a little bit of Kentucky linden chair to play with, but for the most part, we'll be pretty good. Taper just a little bit. At this point, I need to make a recess for these.
Yeah. We had to test how it felt to sit in a bar stool at the counter. Don was okay with not having to do more work. He was fine with it not being perfect. But the boss, being reasonable, said it needs more legroom. Luckily, because we added the scrap to the backside, we were able to shift the cooler and gain more counter space for anyone sitting at the bar. The cooler's got to be able to drain, so here we're using the pipe to make a hole to install the drain.
Oh. Can you see it?
Basically the same thing again, but mirrored with a little bit of different style for the right side of the kitchen. In case you were wondering, yes, at this point in the build, dogs are necessary. Choose a spot for the sink, and then cut the backside off. More foam carving. The drain for the sink, and then the third and final foam billet that goes in the back. Once we carved out the backside and notched the spot for the solar powered charging bank, foam carving was done. Alright, now we're working on the food prep counter around the grill. We're using Kwik brackets. It's a reusable forming system for countertops. They have a tab that slides right underneath the cement board or underlayment. So when you screw it down, the brackets are secured and then you can start dropping in your forms. We could have used the Kwik brackets for this flush edge too, but we didn't have enough of the proper lumber, so we ended up just clamping it. Now we dump and mix and start pouring. Okay, now it's time to start working on the rest of the kitchen. We're going to start mixing up some structure coat, putting the appliances in. Now we cover every surface of the foam. Structure coat is an ultra high performance mix that bonds extremely well to foam and other surfaces. It creates a roughly profiled surface for a carvable vertical mix to adhere to in the next phase. It's applied no thicker than half the thickness of the carvable layer, and the largest variance in the profile should not exceed the thickness of the average depth of the structure coat.
Wherever Nate tells me to go.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's some pro moves right there.
I don't know how you're getting it to stick up high.
Basically, let the wall eat it off my hand.
There you go, yeah.
If that helps you understand it.
Back to the counter, we got to make some cuts so that the appliances fit right. Here's where the real fun begins. We're mixing up some Tru Pac X. You combine one bag of Tru Pac X with an 80-pound bag of Type S mortar mix that you can find at any of your local home improvement stores, and you end up with a highly versatile vertical concrete carving mix. Tru Pac X has been a leader in performance for years. Depending on the scratch coat applied, you can install Tru Pac X anywhere from a ½ an inch up to 45 inches thick.
And you estimate 2 to 3 inch, let's say, thickness, but not that it matters.
2, 1.5, probably on average.
So it's definitely a ballpark when it comes to the volume you calculate for a job. I mean,
I always calculate 5 square feet per bag,
okay.
per mix. And by mix, I mean one of these is a Tru Pac and a mortar.
Okay.
This is called the slick.
The slick. This is the slicking
Slicking
phase.
fit. Slick.
No, it really is. It's called the slick.
All right, well
Okay.
then, see, there you go. We're picking up a trade term.
Yeah.
So we're in the slick step.
Yeah, my kids will like saying it then, right?
This.
Yeah, all the kids are doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a little bit of air there. Because concrete does it.
Stick the air.
That's right. Okay, I know that doesn't look like much, but it is.
Now that it's shaped, we start the coloring process with some color hardener. Broadcasting it like this is what really helps create that nature mimicking modeled color effect that really enhances your rock work. The darker color is used to mimic the tendency of deeper striations in rock to contain darker minerals, collect dirt, or refract light. And then we're using a lighter release color for some highlights. And to give the surface a nice even stone texture, the tool being used here is a TruTex vertical skin glued simply onto a brush. Because this is a counter where a lot of guests are going to be putting their drinks, we went with a less aggressive texture that still fits in with the style we're going for. With the grill being the focal point of the kitchen, it needs to stand out. It can't be more of the same. For this section, we're doing a dry stack design. The goal is to carve the concrete so that it looks like the stones were placed there by a mason. They have to appear like they could actually be resting in that position because there is no mortar that holds them in place.
I'm using a couple rules. No four-way intersections, three-way intersections only, no long continuous lines if I can help it, changing up levels, adding weird directions sometimes. Okay. I want it to be interesting rock. I don't want it to all be rectangular. The next step, I've got my design down, and I've got a lot of my clean out taken care of.
Yep.
Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to relief it.
That's cracking me up as the places I thought looked really cool. You just cut one off and it looks way better now. I thought that was a good one.
A touch points is the illusion of how the weight is dispersed over various rocks.
Okay.
So you see how I dug out this rock dug out this right here?
Yeah.
So this rock is resting here and here. So I don't want to like clean out a lot of this. I want to keep that pretty close. And this right here, I want to keep that pretty close. As long as I can get my blade through there, that's all I want. And then I've secured the illusion.
Yes.
And that's pretty effective. I mean, I fool masons all the time.
Concrete is cured out, and before we can start staining, we're going to throw some dirt at it. Well, only kind of. It's peat moss, and it serves as a barrier to maintain virgin surfaces while the rest of the area is stained. For the countertop, we're using Reax concrete stain. It goes on purple, but this color will dry to a nice light tan. Now we're hitting the sides with some water-based stain. The base color we're going with is September Wheat. It's a nice light golden brown with some hints of yellow and tan. And then we hit the underside of the rocks with a little bit of greenish brown and a dark brown. And then we're tagging all the cracks, corners, and crevices with a much darker color. Boulder serves the same purpose in the dry stack stones around the grill too. And because these stones aren't the same type of rock as the surrounding features, the main color is dark walnut. And then we add some highlights with a gray. And the final touch is a green color that replicates moss and aging in nature. Rough them up a bit with a diamond pad, and then we clean up. Don's backyard finally feels complete. All of the materials used in this project will be listed and linked in the description. If you want to see and learn more about decorative concrete, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.